Parshas Hakaras HaTov. Parshas Hakaras HaTov. Gratitude. Realizing the goodness that somebody's doing for you. Before the Olam left to Bulgaria, we introduced a new Hakaras HaTov, recognizing the goodness in yourself, recognizing your goodness, your greatness. Rabbi, I had and have the schus of having a relationship with a Yid, a tzaddik, an Eved Hashem, Moreinu v'Rabbeinu, Rabbi Daniel Kalish Shlita. Rabbi Zai, from him I learned a new concept in Hakaras HaTov. Not recognizing the good that somebody did for me, not recognizing the goodness that's in me, but Hakaras HaTov. Open up your eyes and recognize the goodness in somebody else. To be able to recognize, to see through everything and just see the bullseye of the goodness in somebody else. When I daven Shemon Esrei and I say the words, V'nafshi ka'afar lakol tiyeh, my nefesh should be like dust to everybody. I used to say the words and I used to cringe. What, I should be like dust? People should step all over me? I can't. There are great people that could. I couldn't. I can't. But one thing I beg the Rabbi Shalom, V'nafshi ka'afar lakol tiyeh. Help me to find something in somebody else, which in that one that nekudah, in the overall could be I'd be better than him. But in one nekudah, help me find in that other person something so special that in that I am like dust towards him. Because if I'll do that, there is no way in the world that I'll be mezalzel, that I'll chas v'shalom look down at him. There's something in him better than me. Forget about the overall. It's unbelievable. I'll never be able to mevaz him. I'll so respect him. I'll so admire him. I won't be able to say lashon hara about a person like that. Just help me find the goodness in somebody else. Rabbi Isai, this is my Hakaras HaTov, my gratitude to Rabbi Kalish soll gesund und stark sein for teaching me how to be able to bullseye and to be able to find the goodness in every single Yid, in every single human being, but in every single Yid to find that beauty. Yeshivas Avava says a story about a Rosh Yeshiva who went with a few Talmidim. They were going in the street and they came across the carcass of a dead animal. One said, "Oh, disgusting! It smells. It's that." And the Rosh Yeshiva said, "Look at those beautiful white teeth. Isn't that phenomenal? A dead carcass." And he saw the beautiful white teeth. Isn't that phenomenal? That's phenomenal. It's meridik. Rabbi Isai. No introduction is necessary. Rabbi Kalish soll gesund und stark sein, is giving the Rebbeinu Shalom the Nachas Ruach, is giving the Rebbeinu Shalom Nachas from his children because of the love and the respect and the beauty and the Hakaras HaTov that Rabbi Kalish has for every single Yid. Yedidi Rabbi Kalish.
Firstly, thank you so much to the Rosh Yeshiva for his kind words, and more importantly, for the friendship. I consider myself a Talmud Chaver. It's a shtickle arrogant to say Chaver, but you feel what you feel. But for the friendship that I speak on behalf of Rabbi Brownstein, that we value tremendously, to be friends, to be close, to be Talmidim of Rosh Yeshiva, who has a tremendous chiyus and ruchnius. The lessons of somebody who's so young and fresh in ruchnius, I saw in my tata somebody who stayed so young in Ruchnias. It was so, I shouldn't have made the word in Ruchnias, stayed so young. Stayed so young. And the Yeshiva should have many, many, many long years. Is so young and fresh in Ruchnias to accept, to learn, to grow. It's a remarkable to be around somebody who keeps that youth, that energy. In halacha, a young person and an old person are not allowed to get married. Leman svais haraves atzmeya. A young person, old person are not supposed to get married. The question is what defined? How do you define the ages? What you have to ask a shadchan, what's called old, what's called young. But a tzmeya, somebody who's hungry and wants is young, and a rabba, somebody who's satisfied is old. Maril says, if you have an 80-year-old man who wants to grow, and a woman who's decades younger and she's like satisfied, she's arrived, he's not allowed to marry her because he is young and he can't marry an old lady. The age is a person who grows. One of the amazing parts about being around, of having the schos about being around Bachrim are very open to growth, open to try new things. And there's a tendency as people get older, you get a certain, this is how I am, this is how it goes, this is my anhaga. And one of the great zchosim of being around, one of the great zchuyas of being around young people who are growing is that the hope is you stay young yourself. You don't just, we could try new things, we could accomplish new things, we could learn new things. And to be around the Rosh Yeshiva, there's a chayus of a young person, the chayus, the tremendous chayus of a young person. So I appreciate the Rosh Yeshiva inviting me here, and more important, I appreciate the friendship that the Rosh Yeshiva, the guide, and the chizuk and the inspiration of somebody who's so full of chayus in Ruchnias is just tremendously appreciated. I look forward when Rabbi comes to Durham, and then I look forward to coming here. Usually we get the chance to learn a little bit. I miss that. Today is hectic. I be'emes miss it. It's always geschmack to sit and to learn together, that's something I miss. As Hashem, we shouldn't abolish that custom. So I hope I want to tell the Chaver, Ma'aseh Hashgacha. I'm coming here. I usually, because we didn't come in the morning, I didn't get to learn with the Rosh Yeshiva. We didn't have the chance, Rabbi Yansen and I. But I'll tell you the Hashgacha pace that the Chaver went on a trip today. Hashem, I got it along the day. Hashem gave me a tremendous gift. Some of the Chaver, Rabbi Yansen, we were zeicha to sit with a Rebbe, with the Rosh Yeshiva Veish HaTorah, with Rebbe Berkowitz Shlita. He's somebody that I look to a lot for his Das Torah, and I look to a lot just to absorb. When I lived in Sinezher Merchevet, I would try to hear him. He spoke in the Tzrif every other Leil Shabbos. I davened elsewhere, but I would go there to hear his speech, to hear him, to be around him. And we were zeicha to sit with him for a few minutes, and just to see his face was already, just to stare at him was that was good enough for me. But he gave a gift. He told me two stories about my Rebbe. I didn't know he knew my Rebbe. I didn't know that. And he says my Rebbe was his menahel. And he told us a story that I want to share with you. You're coming back from a trip today. I want to share the story with you. I never knew this. He gave me two gifts about my Rebbe. One story he said is that my Rebbe got fired from the job. He was his menahel. And he said the reason he was fighting, he said it was b'shalom, it wasn't. I never knew. I spent many, many hours. I never heard this. My family's very close. But he said one of the things, he was the menahel of a yeshiva, the Rosh Yeshiva was European, a wonderful person, and didn't necessarily relate or connect to Bachrim from a different time than his. And he said when my Rebbe became menahel, he took all the Bachrim. Rabbi Berkowitz says he was one of the Bachrim. He took them on a nice trip. They went to an amusement park or something. He sent all the Bachrim to an amusement park. And he got fired for it. I hope nobody here gets in trouble for a Bulgarian trip. But he said that ultimately that started. He got fired for taking the Bachrim. And my Rebbe was not an amusement park type of person. That wasn't his. He grew up with parents his father was a Talmud of Slobodka. He didn't This wasn't his world per se, but he knew what the Bachrim needed. When I was a youngster in Beis Medrash, so Binah, my friends were masmidim. And I in high school, always by lunch, I played ball, and I came to Beis Medrash. You can't go outside and play ball by lunch. And my friends were learning, and my Rabbi had no shaykhs to sports. No, he didn't play. He had no shaykhs. He said to me, Daniel, go outside. No, he kicked me out. Go outside and play ball with the chevra. He understood people have needs, to care for somebody's needs, to understand somebody else outside of oneself, to be able to zushtel to another person. And to hear this story, I felt like a gift for the guys that you're Zeicha, you have a Rosh Yeshiva. That defines a yeshiva. Somebody once, two people got into a fight if a certain place, I'll say with this wasn't the example, but two like serious people got into a fight. Is a place a yeshiva or not? They both said it's an amazing place, but you can't call it a yeshiva. They do a trip to Bulgaria, you can't call it a yeshiva. Let's call, there wasn't there wasn't the nice say, but one guy said, the other guy said it's a yeshiva, that's the Bachrim need. So they went to a gadol, one of the Gdolei Adar. They said, is it called a yeshiva? They took the Bachrim to Bulgaria. So the gadol said, do the Bachrim need it or not? So they both said the Bachrim need it. So he said, please hear this. If they don't go to Bulgaria, they're not a yeshiva. The Bachrim need it. He said, they're not a yeshiva if they don't go. He said, a yeshiva is a place. Here there's space for people and the needs are provided. He said, if a place doesn't serve a meal, see, the Bachrim aren't eating, it's not a yeshiva. He said, a yeshiva is a place, there's a makam for a Bachar to be miskat, to grow, to get close to Hashem. So then it provides what the Bachrim need. That's what the Gadol B'Yisrael said. So to appreciate that with Zeicha, we're in a yeshiva. I heard this about my Rabbi Mamish today, that he got fired, that he felt he had it to the Bachrim have a need, and he felt it's important to take care of the Bachrim's need. I could picture my Rebbe stood up for what was true, what he held was emes. He wasn't such a poll taker. What this one's going to say, he was fard and a vardiker, and he got fired for such a thing. That's a big schos. Nobody should get fired for the Bulgaria trip, but the olam looks wonderful, and that the guys got to refresh and enjoy his taka. You're zeicha to be in a yeshiva with a Rosh Yeshiva and Rebbeim, all the Rebbeim that care about people, that understand the next one and provide in what people need. It's a schos to be in such a yeshiva, and I'm happy to be here to welcome the guys back. To welcome the guys back from the trip, so welcome home together. Yosef, welcome home. Yosef, good to see you, Yosef. I wanna learn something. I wanna learn something in the parasha with the Chevra Shapiro. Welcome to Eretz Yisrael. I wanna learn something on the parasha with the Chevra. But if I can ask if we could sing something first. If we could sing something first. To me, sometimes, again, the Gemara in the Dharam says not to use Torah as a kardum lachbar. Torah shouldn't be used as like a tool to like dig with it. Torah is pure. Torah is very, very special. Now, I'm not saying that it's us or two people aren't so comfortable and they share a word. Sometimes that's what people could do, and there's beauty to see in that. People are sitting around and they can't connect and relate, and they say a Dvar Torah. There's beauty to see in that. But much, much better that you learn to connect and then share Dvar Torah. Then the Torah is different. The Torah is not an escape from the present. It brings you to the present. So much better at your own Shabbos table. It's not a Dvar Torah is not a way of getting comfortable. It's uncomfortable. But if we say a vart, if you're uncomfortable, figure out why you're uncomfortable at the table. Work on it. Get present, and then be a Dvar Torah. Of course, we should say at the table. So I don't want to share like we'll run to a Dvar Torah as a way of us getting comfortable. I don't even want to sing for us, but singing we could be comfortable to sing. Then I'll share Dvar Torah. If we could sing together the Barditch V'Nigan, if we could sing together from Reb Levi Yitzchak, we could sing that together. Yankov, we could do that. Should you play it, or we should just do? Zich, of course you should. Thank you. We'll wait for you. Yeah. There's nothing, I want to express nothing wrong to sing or say Dvar Torah when it's uncomfortable. Nothing. But best, you're doing well, comfortable, I'm enjoying it. He was asking, I'm sorry.
You would take on a chair, you would sit down.
Thank you. Thank you, back.
This one?
Wow. Can't restart it now.
I want to be next.
That's bad. Nice to you. Rabbi, your baby desk is coming. Not me. It's all pretty slimy. I'm not.
Thank you, appreciation, Rabbi Knopfler, Rabbi Berry, and all the Rabbi. Inviting me, Rabbi Brownstein, and more importantly for your friendship, most importantly, this is the yeshiva that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Bachrim have come through here and gotten closer to Hashem, learned more Torah, daven better, and just have grown. It's a beautiful, beautiful space, and we're appreciative. I think, on behalf of all the Rabbi, Imrei, Silverman, all the Rabbi, just a tremendous appreciation. My son was here and grew here, and many have grown here. Rabbi Reisner was a Rebbe of my son. I know. Rabbi Brownstein, we have to remember, I know one Rebbe who's not going to invite us back next year now, but I want to just express to Deutsch, to all the Rebbeim, every single Rebbe here, tremendously appreciated the friendship, the yedidus, the growth of our children, of our brothers, of our friends, the aliyah that takes place here. It's tremendously appreciated. It's something that we value a lot. I want to share a question with the Chevra and a thought. Questions are very, very important. Questions are energy. It's how we get places. Understand, when the Sfas Emes yearly at Akasha and says different teruts in different years, he wasn't like a public speaker and he needed like a new drasha. He had said that last year, so now he has to. That's not what's happening in a Sfas Emes. The Sfas Emes sat in questions, and contemplated questions, and questions bring us places. Question drive. If you're sitting with your chavrus and you have a shverkeit, what should you do? You're looking at your crinkle, your face. What does it mean to think about the question? It means to ask the question again. Go back to trouble. Go back to being bothered. Go back to that friction. That's how you think. You're stuck in a kasha, you ask it again. One more time. You re-get back in, and the friction takes you places. The Sfas Emes spoke many years. There was friction, Akasha's friction, and the friction brought him all different. It brought Klal Yisrael to places. It got us places. It produced. The friction produced. That's how questions work. Keep that in mind, because it's going to be everything we're talking about. This very point is not a side point to what I want to study. It's the aside. Friction is very, very good. It's very good. It's good friction. It brings you places. The guys taught me and teach me not to ignore friction inside of me. Are you allowed to be jealous? It's one of the Aseres Adibris Leisachme, but I get jealous. That's a very good friction. The younger me would just pretend I'm not jealous. I'll get jealous, but I'm jealous. So that's a good friction. You get crazy places from friction. You go on walks, you get crazy places from friction. Friction's in energy. It brings you places, very important places. So the friction that that I have on the parsha is Hashem commands Moshe and Vayitzavim el Pari Melech Mitzrayim. Bnei Yisrael we focused on yesterday. But he commands them el Pari, lach like covet, to give covet to Pari. It's a pella. Pari is Hitler, Yamach Shemai. Pari, who tortured Am Yisrael, who tortured our people. Pari, filthy Pari. Can't say it nicer. Pari, a Russia mamish. And lach like covet to give him honor? What's happening? Does Avada Yidden honor the king and Tali Bidne Sagadle for sure? Pari is a Russia gummer. What does it mean? He's killing us. Lach like covet. And it can't mean kipshutai. It can't mean simple pshat. To give, maybe it means that you're supposed to, and I don't understand what that means. But if you even look at the psukim, it's right. If Moshe and Aaron had already been dealing with Pari, and Hashem didn't say to give him covet. Before the Yitziyah mi Mitzrayim, L'hoitzias b'nei Yisrael mi Mitzrayim, there specifically it says lach like covet. They had already dealt with Pari without the tzivya of giving him covet, because Pari is a Russia. Somehow this wild lach like covet, it bothers me a lot. I don't know the answer to the question. To give him covet, he's a Russia gummer. Pashtus, you shouldn't be mechaber him. Hashem, we listen to Hashem. Chayk, lach like covet. What's being said here? It was said after they had dealt with him for a while, so they weren't told originally to be naya covet. And then it's put together with being very kind, to be soivel klal. In the same sentence, this like chayk, vayitzavim el b'nei Yisrael vel pare, like tzazamen, to deal with Klal Yisrael benachas. Tell me, I don't. This is like a tzivui for the ages, a chayk, why is it put together with being good to Am Yisrael, to lispaloisam, to deal with them benachas? It's a pella. Be'emes, the whole parsha. What are we handling with Pari so much? Hashem takes Am Yisrael, takes us out of Mitzrayim. Why are we so busy going to Pari? The Rambam himself asks that what's the whole charade? Hashem hardened Pari's heart. So Pari is not a player. Why are we running back? Why are Moshe and Aaron handling with Pari? Talking to Pari, speaking to Pari. Pari is completely irrelevant. He's a Russia gummer who has, what's his relevance? He's not Negeya. And Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. Hashem took us from Mitzrayim. What are we busy? Why are we so busy with Pari? Going back to Pari, speaking to Pari, negotiating with Pari. He has no shaykhs to the sugya of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Why is he so featured so prominently in the sugya? His heart's hard inside. What's the story of Pari? What are we busy? That's the friction. I don't want to tell you any answer. We could go weiter. We could sing the Bardetshver again. I want the friction. If you're not bothered, so fine. Don't be bothered. But I don't understand it. Why are we so busy with Pari? What's the busyness? What's this fascination? Pari is not Negeya. Mamish not Negeya. Hashem took Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Pari is way too featured, way too important. B'shalach Pari is something. Pari is not Negeya. Avi Akasha, Vayitzam lach like covered. You're fine with that. Give him covered. You mechabed Pari. Could you believe it? Could you imagine? It's a pella. Of what is he worthy of covered? He tortured our people. He killed Yidden. He tortured our people. But this melech l'chayrim. Lach like covered. What's happening? Somebody could tell me afal pikein. Somebody says azah chiddush. Leisasad mitzri is a mitzvah. You would gay him in their land. He has to have lost his forfeited his right for covered. Please teach me.
It says that Har would be insulted and he'd be quiet and together and Shem and that would be discussing Har.
So not to get him as chus. It's like an eitzah. I can learn that The Rebbe said, the Chassam Sofer says, if they would be not Noye covered and Parai would accept it, it would be like a schus, so make sure he doesn't get a schus. It's too much of a battle tactic. It's Hashem's mitzvah. Lach like covered, there's a tzivui here. So for sure we could see the mile of somebody not being shaisek, Shem Chavaz Mashim for sure. What's this inyan? L'chatchila lach like covered, it's a pella. Please don't give him covered. Don't be mechabit pari. He's a Russia, Marusha. You're not allowed to give cover to Russia. An Isser Daraisa, my friends. It's an Isser Daraisa of Hanifa. You're not allowed to be mechabit to Russia. It's Asr Gomer. It's Asr Gomer to give cover to Russia. Mamish, Hashem told them to be over an Isser. To give cover to a Russia is not allowed. Somebody hurts Am Yisrael, you're not allowed to be nice to such a person. You're not allowed. Here, Pari is told, that Moshe and Aaron are told to give Pari cover. It's a pella. It's a pella, Rabbi say. It's like, so I want to say this friction brought me somewhere this year. I want to share with Chevra what this friction brought me, but the friction's there, but friction's very, very good. And this friction, I saw him as a pella. Be nice to Pari. I don't do well with that. He killed our people. I want to tear him to shreds. Touched our people. He touched our people. He wasn't good to our people. Somebody's bad to your brother. You're not feeling good. If he's also your brother, you'll be Michael. I remember years ago when I just moved to Waterbury, they made like a community gathering, and a little kid touched my son. And when I would see the kid for a few weeks, I was mad at the kid. Kids are Michael very fast. My son was like, could be playing with him the next day. I still had trouble. That's my own. He's my son and my brother also, so I have to work on myself. He patched, wasn't Hootie, he was before. Don't get mad at this other kid. This Hootie wasn't born yet. But it was a different son. The kid patched my son. Weeks later, I remember seeing the kid weeks later. I was like, I had to like Daniel, I calmed down, but he patched my son. I didn't do well, somebody patches my son. Parai patched our brothers, Parai. Pella, lach like covered, give him covered, give him, Rai Shapiro, you bothered, man, it's vild. Where'd the kasha take you, Rai Shapiro? What? Okay. Yeah, you got to ask again. A Yid asked me to critique his speeches. I told him he doesn't sell his kashas enough. I said, okay, it's like a cute speaking zach. Today, 20 years ago, people were more performative. So somebody spoke a schmack. So I said, an amazing size. So we liked that. We were in. My kids today, if a speaker says an amazing size, they don't do great like that. How do you draw in a crowd? Ask a question. That's the crowd. So it's a good kasha. Friction in the room. It's like a real kasha. We're learning our Torah. And the Rabbi Shalom said to Moshe and Aaron, our leaders, our Rabbi, said to give covet to Parai. That's Meshuggah. That's Meshuggah. There's a guy in Iran threatening our people. Rip him to shreds. Punch him, beat him up, kill him. You say, the Rabbi will say, give him covet. No. Be mechabed. What is happening? What's going on? What's being said? This Russia did much more. What's happening? And then the whole handle of Yisrael, the whole handle of Yesias Mitzrayim, Drei Zarum was speaking. Moshe and Aaron are going to Parai. Go back, speak to Parai. What are we handling with Parai? Who wants to look at him? Who wants to be by him? Who wants to talk to him? What are we handling with Parai? I want to express to the Chevra, and when it was said, Lach like covered, was right by the Yitzhak. We're going out, we're finished with him. I remember a girl came to Waterbury and she asked that she wants to meet with Rai Sonnenschein and myself. She asked to meet. I was very honored. I hold him to be a big Baletza, and I don't hold me to be a big Baletza. So I was honored she wants to meet the both of us. I say that as a shtickle pride. But I remember she came and we were sitting together and she told us her story. She wanted to know for Shidduchim how she tells over somebody. She had a past, she had a history. She wanted to know, like a practical, how do I give eitzah? How do I say over in a shidduch? What date? When did you break to the boy? Her story, how she should tell him, when she should tell him, should she tell him? She had shaylas in such a sugya. When she asked the shayla, both of us thought of the same thing. It hit us both that what she came to ask wasn't the real shayla. That's a good shayla. How do you? But it hit us both that the real sugya is not how somebody else was going to relate to her story, but how she related to her story. And there's a tremendous amount of shame. We have a generation that the Rabbi Shalom decided when people were 6 and 10 and 14 and 17, they should go through things. That's the Rabbi Shalom decided. And there's tremendous amount of shame that lives, tremendous amount of shame. A sense of what I've done, a sense of all different things. And it was clear that the sugya wasn't what to tell somebody else. It was clear that the ikar sugya was to understand with pride that Hashem put you in a matziv and you're a mekadesh Shem Shemaim, you're a beautiful person. What a yid, what a special yid. And the Rabbi Shalom each gives us all our stations. And you've brought so much holiness there. And the sugya was for the person themselves to have a certain even pride in what I went through and my story, and that was my station. And there and only from there, I brought a tremendous light, tremendous beauty I brought to the world, the Kiddush Shamayim, that Hashem created circumstance of my life, that there I could say Shema Yisrael. There I could serve Hashem. And there should be a certain pride well before what you say to somebody else. A pride, a sense of Hashem put me in this station and look what this person has created and done and is creating. Literally a pride for themselves. Then we can handle who to tell what to. Maybe don't be a balgaiva. You can't be a balgaiva and tell everybody. Not everybody deserves to hear what you've done, what you've accomplished, what you've built. And what the question brings me to say is that the honor to Parei is not talking about Parei B'chlal. The lach like covered, what makes me think about, the Klal Yisrael is about to leave this. And the sense is to bury the past, to get beyond. It's bedafka here. If it was talking about Parei, they had been dealing with Parei for far too long. They're about to finish with Parei. End of that sugya. And here, when they're about to finish, Hashem says to be chaylik like covered. It shouldn't be this like dark stain. It's a beautiful station of Kiddush Shamayim. It's not something that you're going to out and you forget. I remember my Rabbi, I had a friend who grew up in Russia. And he got older, and he got older. My friend got older, and he like forgot Russian. He dropped it. He forgot Russian, and my Rebbe was frustrated that he let go of Russian. My Rebbe felt he should have kept talking Russian. Now he forgot it. It was schlechte Jahren. It was dark years for him. But my Rebbe felt that that's not how a Yid relates to difficulty. That's not how we relate. It's not. It's not how we relate. I have seen once in a while you meet a person who has a journey, and then you see them with their own kids, and they don't use their sugya to relate to their children, as if they never had any. I say to a guy, you yourself went through, why aren't you more understanding? But I'm not worried that he's not using that he has. I'm worried that he's not chaylik kavod to Parei. He's not chaylik kavod. He forgets Russian. He's not chaylik kavod to Parei. When Moshe Rabbeinu goes down to Mitzrayim, he asks Yisrei Rishus. He swore to Yisrei, yes, Rishus. What I hear, what is that? Yisrei is a control. Yisrei, the greats, is Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law. He makes Moshe swear, you'll ask Rishus. To me, what that says, Moshe going on in his journey is being mamshech, the journey of Yisrei. Yisrei was a searcher and a seeker. He says to Moshe Rabbeinu, swear to me, you'll ask me Rishus. Hudi, be'emes, that alone is trouble. That's another, so much friction this week, Hudi. Be'emes is troubling also. What does Yisrael want? Swear to me he knows Moshe is going to go back. He obviously knew, because he says, if you go back, ask me Rishos. See, his daughter, he gave his daughter to Moshe Rabbeinu. He knew Moshe is rejoining Am Yisrael. He said, swear to me you'll ask permission. I never gave a daughter, not yet. I'm thinking my daughter has a license now, so it's more on my mind. I've never given a daughter to Shidduchim. I go to more chasnas than most people, Baruch Hashem. I go to many weddings. And the man gives over his son, the father of the chasna and the father Kala make a kinyan. The man I don't get so moved by. I've given over his son to Shidduchim. The man said, I would walk my son down the aisle. I hear it's a big thing who he marries. Big thing. But Chazal don't say chayav tluyin aleh. It doesn't say. On a lady, her life's in his hands. Chayav tluyin alav. Her life. The father of the Kala's Kenyan is Vild. He said, I'm going to give my daughter. It's crazy. So I'm giving my daughter. The man really says it, and then he does it. It's Vild. What the guy is doing. So Yisro is giving his daughter to Moshe Rabbeinu. And he's trusting, but I need one promise. You're trusting your daughter with everything. He needs one promise. If you go to Mitzrayim, you'll ask, if you go rejoin Am Yisrael, you'll ask me Rishus. What's he holding on to? What's he saying? What does he mean? What's the sugya? You'll ask me permission. And then Moshe, sure enough, wants to go to Mitzrayim. Hashem tells him to go. He asks Rishus and he gives Rishus. By the way, why don't when you give your daughter at that time, give him Rishus? Who he knows he's going to ask? Why don't you just say right away, give Rishus? He wasn't ready yet. He needed some time. Maybe. I'm not against anything. Maybe he needed time. There's a sugya. Swear to me you'll ask me permission. And Moshe swears. Vayirel Moshe l'sheves seish. It's a Gemara in Adarim Samachei. Gemara. Moshe swears to Yisrael. What's going on? What's this shvuah that I'll ask Rishos? Hudi, what it says to me is that Yisrael's journey and what Moshe continues on is kashayach to Yisrael. The Rishos is connected, I'm continuing. And it doesn't forget, it's chayla kavod to Paroi. Later on, Yisrael gets riziga kavod. Yisrael comes with Mechabit. Yisrael is forever the father-in-law of Moshe Chais. Lavan was, Yaakov stole them in the middle of the night is the mashmois, that it was a break from Lavan. It wasn't the hemshech of Lavan. And Yisrael wanted Moshe, I'm part of your journey, Moshe Rabbeinu. My search and falls and failures and going to different Avodah Zarah. And I found Hashem, and I know you're going to be Mamshech Weiter. Please ask me, Rishos. Include me. I'm part of this journey, this continuing journey. I'm shaykh to that. And Moshe accepts the shvuah and asks Rishos, can I have Rishos? And Yisrael says, yeah, go. That makes Yisrael very part of this journey. And the chayla kavod to Paroi, the way I hear it, is that the difficulty is not the Paroi, the difficulties that we encounter, it's only Tam Yisrael. It wouldn't equate. Tzavim el b'nei Yisrael, nachas, and soiveloisam. Vel Paroi melch Mitzrayim is chayla kavod, is speaking about Klal Yisrael. And it's saying, and we handle with Paroi to get out of Mitzrayim, and Paroi sends us from Mitzrayim. The difficulties we encounter are part of our story that we don't forget, we don't machavek. It's not that way. Not only we can come to a place not to have shame, we could have a pride. That in the station, in the Mitzrayim, Hashem put us. Amidst difficulties, we cried to Hashem. Amidst challenges, amidst all different things, we came to a shiur and I want to learn Torah. We could have a pride. Don't be chayla kavod to Paroi. Who you should tell, how you should tell, meet with Rabbi Sonnenschein. But be chayla kavod to Paroi. Be chayla kavod to Paroi. Understand that the station Hashem put us in and the place He put us is all part of our story of Kiddush Hamayim. Is all part of the journey of the people who's davik to Hashem. And it brought out and it brings out a tremendous want for the Rabbeinu Shalom. Amidst all the challenges, it brings out a tremendous beauty that's brought out specifically from Paroi, through all the difficulties. A tremendous yofi comes out. something very special and beautiful that needs to be revealed to the world. That there's a people of Hashem. Hashem is a people on this earth who are davak Hashem, who care about Hashem, who want to be mekadesh Shemayim. That can only be brought out through a matzav of difficulty and all different things. That's the chaylik kavet to pare. That's what I'm hearing in the lachlik like kavet to pare. A different way of thinking, not shame, far from a world of shame. Chaylik kavet to pare. In that place, with the difficulties, don't just bury all this. It was said right before we left. It's a sugya of Yitzhi. You're about to leave. Say, I'm forgetting that. No, we're not. We're not forgetting that. We're not shamed by that. We're actually, that brought out deep things from within us. It brought out and it brings out and is megala deep, deep things in us amidst all different stuff. I don't know why. Today I'm thinking about my Rebbe a lot. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Today, punkt, I went into Isha Torah and I made a decision to speak about my Rebbe. I don't know why I haven't done that recently at all. And then Reb Berkowitz, the Rosh tells me that he was in his yeshiva, told me 2 stories. Everything, ashkacha, complete ashkacha. It was a gift from Hashem. And I'm thinking today a lot. I don't know what it is. You come to Eretz Yisrael. I'm very into Chevra. When you go to Kfarim, don't prepare too much. People like go, and it's good sometimes we go to Davin. Try going to a kever, not preparing, and see what happens. Just show up. You'll see different things here. You let things happen. We like crush ourselves. Let things be. And what is, will be. You'll see different kfarim. I've had interesting things happen. We crush them. We don't let in experience. And maybe you'll think of nothing. So good. So then you'll think of nothing. Then you'll pray to Hashem. But let things be. You see different kfarim, different things on Ma'or happen. Then you come to Eretz Yisrael. I don't know why. I'm thinking a lot about my Rebbe today. And my Rebbe, when he davened Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, his tefillah was very, very powerful. My whole life, long after I wasn't davening by my Rebbe, I still hear his tunes. I still, he's still my chazan on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. His tefillah, he would prepare for months. The first time I brought my wife, we were engaged, I brought it to my Rebbe, we came to his house, he had a few siddurim open, he was preparing the tefillah. He would prepare for hours and hours and hours on end. He was very kosher to tefillah. His davening was beautiful and he was very connected. Always, his psuke de zimra was delightful. It was like a young child, it was very energetic and excited. And his davening Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur was beautiful. And there's one piece of everything I got from my Rebbe, nothing is more like that's. He would say the piece with the Vekas, he would describe the angels, and he would describe the fiery angels, the exalted, perfect, remarkable angels with no blemishes thanking Hashem, and that's wonderful. But Avisa Seila, Hashem would say, you know who I want prayers from? It's from the human being, the frail human, who did that yesterday and did that 2 days ago and does that and has all different spaces out and all different lapses. And Hashem says, the human being, his Kiddush Shemayim is what I want. Avisa Sehila. I normally would even stress, Rav Ezi asked me, he's one of my best friends, asked I should do it. I'm not sure, I don't want to say I normally would do it because I'm not sure, but now with a sore throat, for sure not, Rav Ezi. Did I ever do it for you?
Yeah.
I'll do it again. Binah for Rabbi. But
How about now?
when my Rebbe would say this prayer, I can't describe to you. It was otherworldly. He was saying something that was otherworldly. It was actually very this worldly. It was very in this world. He would describe, he was talking to us, he was saying something. He was talking to Hashem, talking to the Tzibur, and he would describe the Rabbi Shalom's want for the prayer of the frail human being, the want for the tefillah, the Torah, the want for the frail human being's Torah. I think it's like the message for our day. It's the energy for our day. It's what's being said. I'm being in Yerushalayim for the day. There's a Yerushalayim is Messiah's called the happiest land on earth. It's amazing. People are running and coming. I asked my son as a younger man in Yerushalayim, go slow to Koil. Come a little later. I'll make up the money for Shmir Sestam. Come a little later and like learn like nice. Like be besimcha. Mamish be besimcha. Learn with cheshik. Hashem likes our Torah. It's valuable. It counts. It matters. And Neshama learns Hashem's Torah. Yid is kind. The Yid mamish gives chizuk to another Yid. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Be present to it. Slow down a bit. Like actually, like mamish, sing a song, a couple of chevra, at a Shabbos mirsa. It's a big thing. Things are very big. A Yid service, JD, is like a big thing, very big. Hashem wants that kiddush shemayim. Don't compete. Don't run. Don't keep up. Don't. But mamish, sit with chavrusa. Maybe learn a mishnah. Maybe learn like one line. Maybe read a pasuk. Mamish, like read a pasuk. Like just think about the pasuk for a few minutes. Hashem wants the avoid of kol yachid v'yachid, avisa sehila from a frail human. I think, Yair, that's the sug of being chayla covet the para. I think so. I think that says something to me. That says, it rings emes of the chayla covet the para, of the busyness with para, is the very space of difficulty, of challenge, of darkness, is actually b'shalach paresam. That's what brings us. There and in there, we bring a tremendous, tremendous light. Don't ignore it. Don't deny it. Don't pretend. Bring a light from there. Mamish, and have a pride in the light. We were zeicha. I remember once going on a walk with a bacher in Durham with Asher Morris, and we walked, his brother's in Yeshiva now. We walked to a place at the time, by now already there are guys who have been there. If you go, instead of making the right, when you come to the end of the block, Hudi, the Yeshiva's on, and you come to that traffic light and make like Wallingford Road, so you come to, you make a right to get to the highway. Did you ever go straight? It ends in a dead end. Nobody goes, nothing there. JD's been there for sure. Then you make a left. JD, and you just walk into a forest. It's a road that only goes a bit. Me and Asher Morris walked to the middle of the forest. At the time, nobody'd been there. Today, JD's talked to Hashem there many times, probably. There are other guys also have been there since. But at the time, and we were thinking, we're like the first Yidden, that are like talking, giving chizuk to each other there. Like the Hashem made this space, and two Yidden are here, bringing Kiddush Shemayim. It felt something. It felt very meaningful. And understand that's the story of your life and my life. We're the unique little forest that we have, our own situations, our own circumstance, our own paras, and it's a unique space and place that you and only you, no Yid, Misheshus Imei Breshus, has ever lit a light there, has ever been Mekadesh Shem Shemayim, and shine our light. Bring an there, precisely there, shine a light. With sincerity, with a Shema, with a tefillah, with a prayer, with some faith, with an emunah. The Rebbeinu Shalom should be mezaka us all. Should be mezaka us all, taka, to get out of Mitzrayim, to have geulais, the geula prati of kol echad v'echad, but to also celebrate and understand that precisely in Mitzrayim sends us out, Paris sends us out in Mitzrayim, that to understand the value of the avodah that we do, mitaych the d'chak, mitaych the situation, the Rebbeinu Shalom should mezaka us all to celebrate and appreciate the avodah that we do. Thank you so much for having me.